There are so many amazing features on Zwift. Are you sure you know the best ones?
Yeah, whether you're new to Zwift or a seasoned veteran, here are 11 things you'd wished you known about Zwift.
Zwift can seem like a pretty big place, so how do you make sure that you meet up with your friends and ride the same route as them? With the Companion app, available for free on the iOS and the Android stores. And it's actually very simple to find them. You simply go onto Zwifters and then you either select Zwifters that you follow, click on them, and then you will end up next to them and riding the same route as them.
Yeah, and you can also get a notification every time your friend gets on Zwift, and then you can ride with them.
That's right, and of course the Companion app does an awful lot more besides. You can effectively control the game from your phone, like as a remote control. You can find events that are coming up and then enter them before the start, and indeed, perhaps most importantly of all, you can give ride-ons. That's right. Right on. Zwift isn't just a virtual reality cycling playground for you to enjoy. You can also do structured training sessions in there as well, because built in to Zwift itself are loads and loads of different structured workouts. You can find them here by clicking on that workout button. You can see there's a whole load of them there on the left. And if you still don't find what you're absolutely looking for, you can just create it yourself. Now, when you click on one and you end up in the game experience does change ever so slightly. So, for example, you have like a little holographic display unit in front of your avatar so that you are reminded that you're in a training session and everyone else knows that's what you're doing as well. You can't draft other people, although they can draft you. You can't use power-ups, meaning no shortcuts in your training session. And it is also a very good way of boosting your rider score.
So what is that exactly? Well, XP points are accumulated when you ride on Zwift, and the more miles you click over, the more points you get, with a maximum level of 25. For 1 kilometre you get 20 XP points, and for 1 mile you get 30 XP points. And once the mile is ticked over, you get your points. But you don't get them for a workout session until after the ride, and you'll see it in the top right hand corner of that center console. Let me try and get some points now.
What a magnificent specimen. Now, you're trying to tense.
Yeah, I'm just going downhill now.
Okay, XP points aside, pretty much everything that you do on Zwift is governed by how many watts that you produce when pedaling. So what is a watt then? Well, it's a measure of your power, so the amount of energy that you are putting into the pedals each second. Now, once you know what a watt is, you also need to know your FTP, which is your functional threshold power. Now, that is a kind of theoretical estimation of how many watts that you could average for a 1 hour duration. Now, fortunately, you don't need to ride for an hour as hard as you can to find out, because Zwift will do a calculation for you and give you an accurate estimation of your FTP. And it's really important that it does that.
Yes, so once you've got your FTP, that will adjust the workout's intensity which best suits you. And once you've got that, you can then divide the FTP by your weight, and that will give you your power to weight ratio. Once you've got that number, that will put you in a group or race in a group that really best suits your ability. Oh, Simon.
If you're using a smart trainer, as James is here, then Zwift can automatically control your workouts so that you have to ride at the correct intensity as dictated by your FTP. And it's a setting called erg mode. And what it means is that as you start an interval, your trainer will automatically generate the right amount of resistance so that you put out the necessary power, irrespective of what gear you're in or how fast you're pedaling.
Yeah, warning though, Si, this can be really hard. So make sure you prepare yourself, maybe up the cadence or power just before the effort kicks in, because the last thing you want to do is get bogged down, which I think I'm going to be doing in not long.
Yeah, 720 watts, James. That's quite a
Yeah.
that's quite an effort. If it's not on Strava, it didn't happen, right? Well, thank goodness it's incredibly easy to connect your Zwift account to your Strava account. Just go into the settings menu and click on connections, either on Zwift.com or using our friendly companion app. And after you've finished your ride, it will then automatically upload.
Yes, and you can also click on that camera icon that will take a picture while you're riding on Zwift. And then you can upload it straight to Strava. I mean, it's a win-win, isn't it? Selfie while you're riding Zwift.
All right, mate, you ready? Say cheese.
Cheese! Oh,
That's gonna be a good one, that.
you've probably seen fellow Zwifters riding around on these super cool futuristic looking bikes and wondered what they are. Well, they're the Zwift Concept Z1 bike. And to get it, you need to get signed up to the Everesting Challenge.
That's right. Simply climb the equivalent height of Mount Everest, so 8,850 meters, and then a little bit more. 41,150 meters more, to be precise. So yes, 50,000 vertical meters of ascent. So, I mean, it might not be easy, but it is at least simple. Now, to find the challenge, you simply go to your main menu screen and then select which challenge you would like to undertake.
You don't have to have a smart trainer to enjoy Zwift. You will miss out on some of the experience, for example, going up different gradients or even riding behind riders. But you do have to have a speed sensor that tells Zwift how fast you're riding. So that means you can enjoy Zwift no matter what trainer you've got.
I think that doing a Zwift race is pretty much the most fun that you can have on a turbo trainer. They're also completely free and there are races for all abilities. So if you want to get started, here is how. First, you need to find a race to ride. So you can do that via the events calendar on your companion app or indeed using the Zwift calendar online. Then you need to select the right race for your ability level. They are split into A, B, C and D level races and they are worked out depending on your power to weight ratio, which you'll remember is your FTP divided by your weight. Then you simply click on the one that you want to ride and you'll get a notification sent to you when you need to line up. There you go. It is as simple as that. Enjoy.
Now, if you've been riding Zwift, you'll be aware that there's a few different locations or courses that you can ride on, including that new one in New York. But what you might not be aware of is there's 5 different worlds that rotate on a course calendar. And to check out what's coming up next, go onto the homepage of your app to find out.
Lastly, here I think is one that a lot of people don't know about. Trainer settings, okay? So Zwift sets what it calls the trainer difficulty to 50%. So that means that the climbs that it's simulating in the game are ever so slightly easier than they would be outside. But on the flip side, the descents are ever so slightly harder. And so what you experience on the bike is an overall slightly more consistent feeling workout. But now you know about trainer difficulty, why not play around with it? Why not take it up to 75%? Why not take it up to 100% for ultimate accuracy and simulation and then quickly change it back again?
Ouch, sounds painful.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Now, if there's anything that you'd like to know that we've missed, then make sure you put it in the comment section below. And for a more basic guide, why don't you check out our how-to basic guide video?
You're looking at, like, you've got a bit of a sweat on there, James. Should we have, like, number 12, have a massive fan in front of your trainer so that you don't get quite so hot?